and welcome to Spiritual Keys. My name is Evangelist Gwen Ellison, and I'm your host for this broadcast. And I appreciate you for joining us today. We thank God for what He's doing. I'm excited about what the Lord is doing. I'm excited about what He's doing for you. I'm excited about what God is proving in these last days. I thank God again for allowing me to write a book entitled Collaborating with Heaven, Playing in the Key of David. And in this book, God is giving us a brief overview of what He plans on doing in this end time in the 21st century as it pertains to music. And in the book, we have dedicated several chapters to the necessity of this prophetic music. And one necessity or one need for prophetic music is to stimulate joy in the believer's life. Okay, many people that are listening to me, you're going through trial after trial after trial, and you're trying your best to hold on to God, and you're reading your word, you're studying, you're fasting, you're praying, but still sometimes you find that it's kind of hard to stay happy. Okay, well, that's understandable because, we're living in a real world and the enemy is constantly on his job seeking whom he may devour. And sometimes we're going through tests and trials that we may not be ready for, or and if we're ready for them, we may want out of them. But in all of that, we have to learn how to hold on to our joy. And we thank God for being able to assemble ourselves together as believers on Sundays or on whatever day of service we worship. And when we do that, we are able to glean or get into the presence of the Lord in a different way with the corporate body. And then most of the time when we leave the church, we have a level of joy that we didn't have when we came. But the key is, how do we hold on to this joy? How do we maintain the level of joy that we need to make it through the tests and trials that we have to go through, and so that we can keep the right attitude? It's all about attitude. So joy is what it's going to take for us to maintain the attitude that pleases God, as well as be willing to be resilient, and that's to bounce back after tests and trials or even attacks from our adversary. So God has shown me several keys that we're going to share with you on today that can help us maintain our joy. And it's like going to medical school a little bit, because we're going to talk about the brain a little, because the brain chemistry, the chemicals that God has given each one of us in our brain, are responsible or are the keys that will help us maintain our joy once we leave the church house. And I learned that there are four primary chemicals in the brain that affect our happiness, and that is oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, dopamine, and these are what science calls neurotransmitters. So they have a power and control in our mind over our thinking, our feelings, and they can be positive in making us be happy, even when circumstances don't afford us that privilege. But what we want to share with you on today is three keys that we can use as believers that will help release these chemicals in our brain once we leave the church. Now, prophetic music stimulates the brain, and it also helps to stimulate us to get us ready so that we can be in shape mentally, so that we can use these keys on an everyday basis. So prophetic music, when we hear that music, the Holy Spirit inspired music will work in recesses of our mind, and go deep down into the places that we don't even know about. And He will set us free in areas if we are in bondage, so that we can be free to use the keys, or we can be free to walk in freedom, walk in joy. And as we know, joy is one of the fruits of the Spirit. So we definitely need to walk in joy. We need love, joy, and peace. So one of the keys that God has given me to understand will help us is laughter. Now we know most of us are familiar with the scriptures that say laughter is like a medicine, a merry heart is like a medicine. But laughter is powerful because it makes us healthy on the inside. It affects our uh, blood vessels. It opens them up so the blood can flow through them easier, and it lowers the risk of heart attacks and high blood pressure. So laughter is a medicine because it will give you that inside help to loosen you so that you can be free to be happy. Okay, laughter is a medicine. Also, I learned that smiling is powerful. When you smile, your brain releases feel good chemicals like dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin in your system. These brain chemicals aid in calming your nervous system. Okay, a lot of people are dealing with stressful situations. They are under stress. They live in a stressful situation. They work in stressful situations. So the more you smile, the more your brain will release these feel good, calming chemicals that will help you be able to make it through those stressful situations. Okay, it also lowers your heart rate and blood pressure when you smile. So, smiling is powerful, very powerful. It makes you feel better. And I read somewhere this like when you smile, it's almost like you're having a party in your brain. So, hey, who doesn't like to have a good time? So, when we look at the fact that when we smile, we're releasing good chemicals, the chemicals that make us feel good, it should give us more of a reason to smile. And when you understand the truth about smiling, the biological, physiological truth about what a smile does for you or how it benefits you, you can smile. And as you think about it and smile, then that will help enhance the release of those chemicals. And the third key is when you help other people, when you do kind deeds, it's powerful. It has a powerful effect on your physical body. When you do kind deeds, your brain releases endorphins, the chemicals give us that feel good or fervor or give us the high spirits, what we need to feel good, even when there's not a lot going on around us that makes us feel good. So what I'm saying is that God has given us keys that will help trigger these chemicals, even when you have not received that miracle, that blessing that you're waiting on. When we do something nice, it gives the brain a serotonin boost. This chemical gives you a feeling of satisfaction and well-being. Okay, God tells us in His Word, be kind, show love, do good. So it's not just to please God, but it's to make you feel better. Doing good things, being nice, being sweet to people, even when they don't deserve it. You may get a double dose of chemicals when you're in that place, but just on a routine basis, being kind and showing love is powerful, and it will have a healthy effect on you. Okay, so these are three keys: smiling, laughing, and doing good. These keys will help release the God-given chemicals in your system, in your brain, that will help you maintain the level of joy that's necessary for you to be able to make it through what you're going through. God understands, and He's going to give us some prophetic music to stimulate the brain areas that maybe are kind of rusty. And once He stimulates it and gets it to working good, He oils us up and gives us that spiritual boost that we need. Then He's going to teach us how to use the keys, the smiling, the laughter, and the doing good deeds. So these are the keys that we want to share with you on today. So use those keys and pray and ask the Holy Spirit to continue to teach you and let you know how to use them and how powerful they are. But hey, anytime we can have a party in our head, we need to have it. So you all be blessed, and thank you so much for tuning in.